So, while I was taking a break over the weekend, I actually took the time to look up the director's commentary for the last few episodes. And what I got kind of annoyed me. First off, in comparison to the comments that the viewers had about the compassion and the emotion of the Starfleet members as opposed to actually caring for their fellow man, especially according to Pinky's own trauma and heartache, the writers of this show had this to say. Pinkie Pie is a soldier. She should not let her emotions get in the way, and you should be thinking about her emotional state, and she should be cold, and not let her emotions get the better of her. Neither should the Starfleet cast act in the same way and let their emotions get the better of them, or show compassion. Only show compassion when they need to. Look, Starfleet and Pinkie Pie may be soldiers, but even soldiers need compassion. They need love and emotion. Otherwise, they will become cold, heartless killing machines that would not discriminate innocent people. They need things like emotions and compassion so they can care for their fellow teammates. A group of soldiers that do not show compassion or emotion for each other is lost. They instead stop becoming people and start becoming automatons, worthless machines who would just kill because their master tells them to. They need a chance to show that they care for one another. When it comes to this, it's more important for a pony to show compassion for their fellow man. Pinkie Pie is a soldier, yes, but that doesn't mean you should shut her out every time she gets overly emotional. You should show compassion in caring for her. Otherwise, she is treated no better than one of the lowly blades of grass we step on. She is Pinkie Pie, not Soldier A. But what do I expect? That's all Starfleet seems to be, is a bunch of mindless soldiers without a hint of compassion or caring. Yes, sometimes you need to keep a calm head, but that doesn't mean you should block off your heart. Real soldiers in the real world, the ones that I know, the Royal Guard that I have actually written to, they say that they show compassion and emotion all the time, especially if they lost a fellow brother. There's sometimes some soldiers who get so heartbroken that they get PTSD. And about the whole jobs thing, apparently Starfleet pays enough that it would be worth 10 times the amount that they would get by working their jobs. The problem with that is, you forget, these mayors love their jobs. They love working with these jobs. They love this part. This is a part of who they are. And this is not just some useless filler. This is not some sort of thing you can ignore, any more than you can ignore Starla and Lightning's relationship. This is a part of their society and who they are. This is something that you have to focus on. You can't just ignore this and just say, oh, well, Starfleet pays more than enough. No. And what's more, you can't say Starfleet pays more than enough. There are living bills. There are medical expenses. All this add up. Lightning may be receiving about $15,000 a month, but that's still not enough. Alright, and even then, certain members of the military won't make enough just to live on all the time. You need to actually think about this. You actually need to think about what you're trying to tell us in your story. By leaving this information out, I don't know any of this. For all I know, you could be lying to me just trying to make it up. And I'm not about to read your blogs just to fill up material for this story. I want it to be told in the story. I want to see paychecks. However, I'm not getting that. Now that I'm done commenting on the writer's commentary, let's move on to the next episode, Caesar's Threat. Despite the many dangers occurring, just as promised, society continued on in Equestria. As adults continued to work, the children went to school. So, This isn't really a war, is it? This is just more like a bunch of battles happening randomly. Um, Question, if there's supposed to be a military curfew and all that jazz, then why is society continuing on normal? If this is a war, then there should be death. There should be people crying. There should be more mourning. Not life continued on as normal. The world doesn't work like that. Equanimity doesn't work like that. Today, Shirley had a special announcement to make. Class, as you know, do not speak out exposition with as you know. This is an amateur's folly. You never do exposition like this. This fails because it's basically saying, as you know. Well, everybody already knows that. This is the point in the month where I name a student of the month. Every month, a student gets a special reward for having shown outstanding progress in home, tests, and assignments, and that also entitles them to this. She steps aside for a small, simple star trophy on her desk, along with 3 others exactly the same. Sweetbelle raised her hand and asked, Miss Shirley, how come there are 4 of them? Shirley smiled proudly. Well, because normally I give out one of these every month, but in this month, 4 students in this class have done astoundingly well. I decided to award them all with a trophy, and that's why I am pleased to give these awards to the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Miss Cherry, isn't this showing favoritism towards an entire group? I mean, what if Snips and Snails did actually something really good? The Crusaders gasped in sudden shock, but their smiles soon widened, and soon everyone in class cheered and applauded for them. Hooray! Everyone except Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, both of whom were far from pleased. Oh, it's going to be one of these stories, huh? Where you're going to do an author track against the bullies against 2 innocent little fillies who don't even know better. All opposed in front of the class to accept their student trophies, and Cheerily allowed them to say a few words. Again, this is trying to demonize a bunch of little 12-year-olds. I want you to think about that while we're reading. These are 12-year-old children. Or, if you go by that erroneous thing that the authors commented about Spike's age, which was completely wrong in so many levels. Seriously? Twilight in preschool? What part of Twilight's application says he was from preschool? Where did you come up with that conclusion that they were in preschool? What's more, that really doesn't make any sense for the CMC here. Because if Twilight was in preschool when she got her cutie mark, that would mean the CMC were in preschool when the show begins. Which means that at most only 5 years passed between the cutie remark and the show. Which means that at most these girls are only 10. Because if it was 15 years, then that would mean the CMC are 15 years old. And they should be the same age and already have their cutie marks. So, how could it be only preschool for Twilight in the gang, but the CMC are 15 years old in the show? Methinks the writer cannot do math. Especially since everybody knows that cutie marks are also a sign of puberty. Shameful. So, yeah, either we're demonizing 12-year-olds or we're demonizing 5-year-olds. Enjoy that thought, folks! Diamond Tiara was so frustrated and annoyed by all the attention that the girls were getting. She took out her nail file and started to file her fingernails, blowing on them. The noises were so loud and distracted the girls giving their acceptance speeches. They got tongue-tied a few times. Silver! I don't know who Silver Spoon is, but I know Silver Spoon. Couldn't help but chuckle at them. Um, nail filing doesn't grow that loud. Unless she's doing it so hard that her fingers are going to bleed. In which case, the poor girl, she's become suicidal. Stop her! Also, Diamond Tiara, I think, is smarter than this. I've seen her in school. She wouldn't be so obvious! Finally, the girls have reached their limits and angrily demanded that Diamond Tiara stop filing her nails. Even Cheerilee, who lost her paces and confiscated the nail file for Diamond, scolding, Diamond Tiara, not only have I specifically told you not to bring your nail file to school 3 times this week, but you've also been very disrespectful in front of your classmates. But Miss Cheerilee... No buts! Cheerilee snapped, let the file into her desk. As punishment, you are forbidden from going to recess for 1 entire week. Instead, you'll stay right here in class and do work and chores. I have problems with this. Again, Diamond Tiara is smarter than this. 2, this is out of character even for her. Even disregarding the fact that she's lightened up in recent days, this is out of character for her. She wouldn't be this stupid. If anything, I feel like this is just a long Arthur track about how he feels about bullies, but he's never really been bullied. He's just had a bunch of people yell at him and he thinks he knows what is bullying. Diamond gasped in shock, and Silver Spoon thought Cheerilee was not being fair at all. Both their anger spiked when their teacher turned back to the Crusaders and said kindly, Girls, you may continue your speech first thing tomorrow morning, with no further interruptions. The bell rang for recess, and everyone except Diamond was permitted to go outside. All she could do was watch miserably as the children played about, and how angry she was at the Crusaders for humiliating her. Silver Spoon hated seeing her from the window, and was just as angry, especially seeing how several of the students were fawning over the Crusaders and those trophies. Those are really neat, says Niels. Yeah, I wish I had one of those. Well, if you want, we can help you out sometime, says Sweetie Belle. Apple Bloom nodded. Yeah, help us what cutie marks Crusaders are for, even if we don't have cutie marks yet. Scoogaloo and Diamond Tiara then did part of the first song they made up. The rain or snow or sleet or shine, the CNC will help you find. That's when all girls broke out into a hip-hop song wearing cool shades, and everyone else joined in the song as well, despite the fact that they don't know the lyrics. Oh, wait, what am I saying? This is Equestria. We know the lyrics in the heart. It's ingrained in our bodies. I don't know whether it's the magic of friendship or the magic of harmony that surrounds us all, but whenever somebody breaks into song, we automatically know the lyrics. I know, weird, huh? I mean, the moment I start singing, almost half of my neighborhood joins in. It's kind of interesting. If only Twilight were alive, she could establish and try to figure out the source of all this music magic. Now, I'm listening to the song right now for what they're singing, and I refuse to use what I'm pretty positive I heard on Sesame Street. So instead, I'm going to give you guys a special treat. Hit it! My music makes me so hard. It makes me say, oh my lord, thank you for blessing me with a mind to rhyme and 2 hot feet. That's good when you're down a super dope boy from Oaktown, and I'm known as such, and this is a beat, you can't touch this. Yeah, I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we're living it, you know? You can't touch this. Thank you. I had to do that. I refuse to mess up this song. So everyone began to hip-hop and dance to the groovy music. Bull crap! MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This is cool and groovy. This is written for 3-year-olds. By the end of the day, the students had gathered up their things to leave for home. But Diamond Tiara was still complaining of being rude. She and Silver Spoon stopped the Crusaders along their path. Just like saying things. You're getting me into trouble. Again, she's not this stupid. I think you're trying to write her out of character just to motivate your own program. It wasn't our fault. You're the one who broke the rules. Diamond Tiara gritted her teeth in fury, but Silver spoke yet. This isn't over yet, you troublemakers. Look at your back. Just wait. They walked off in a huff. At the same time, Applejack, Rarity, and Buddy Rose came along. Hello? Rainbow Dash? Rainbow Dash picks up Scootaloo too. They're like sisters. They're very close. Alright, for a minute there, when I saw them walking down the street, I thought they were sisters. Those two have a very strong sibling relationship. Why is it Dash there? Well, someone must have had a bad apple today. An Applejack does not need to say apple in almost every other sentence. The girls had explained what had happened, and the grown-ups thought that it sounded funny. Well, sounded like you girls had a good day. We couldn't be more proud of you all, added Rarity. She seemed in good spirits after having her cutie mark and magic stolen a few days ago. In spite of the fact that her military dividend isn't really helping paying her medical expenses, her food, her, home loans, because, that Carousel Boutique thing, considering how much it looks like it might cost, I don't think receiving 15,000 bits a month is going to cover it. That thing looks like it's at most a, I'm going to say 65,000 bit home with a 400 bit mortgage. I'm just saying, rounding up. And if Rarity's trying to pay for Sleep Bell's life, and if Pearl and Malcolm don't, work, he's also paying for that. So I'm guessing that $15,000 a month is not going to cover it. Not at all. The girls flared. But we really do owe it to Miss Shirley, said D&D. She's the greatest teacher in the whole universe. Yeah, I hope nothing bad ever happens to her. Yippee! We get it. She's tempting fate. We understand this. Thank you so kindly for demonstrating it to us. Soon, Shirley finished the last of her work at school, then locked up. She did some shopping at the grocery market for suffering home. Thank you for telling us this, Arthur. This was really necessary. The sun was setting, and she knew she wasn't supposed to be wandering the streets alone at night, as were Luna's curfew orders during the war. Even adults are being put into this curfew? What type of military-brained madness is this? She was halfway home and walking up a simple footpress across the water when she heard a noise from behind. She turned around, but no one was there. Boo. She sighed in relief, but she turned to face forward and found a phantom of magic staring at her. Nice nut, isn't it? Oh no, you're gonna ravage me! What? Ravage you? No, I wouldn't think of it. What, I'm not sexy enough for you? Shirley screamed and ran for her life, dropping her groceries everywhere. All those poor fruits and vegetables. Help! She cried. Please! Starfleet! No, on second thought, not Starfleet. Somebody useful! But the Phantom had already caught up with her and appeared in front of her again. She tried to run another way, but he popped up in front of her again, and again, and again, and again, until she became a whack-a-mole. You find that escape is quite impossible, he hissed at her. Shirley tried to run again, but was paralyzed on the spot with the Phantom's powers. So, you want to do it the hard way. It really doesn't matter to me. In the end, I'll get what I want. He moved forward, ready to take Shirley's cutie mark and the power that came with it. The power to cheat really, really well? A whole series of lights flashed on. Oh, shoot. I need to take photos. Freeze! Shouted Lightning. He was standing with an entire squad of space alicorns who had no cutie marks. Yeah, because apparently there's some sort of magic voodoo that makes sure that all of them are talented hacks. Yeah, I said it. Saying that Grand Ruler has no cutie mark and the magic doesn't affect him, even though he's supposed to be an equestrian? Really doesn't mean he's special. Just means he's no talented. He has no talent. Yeah, kind of funny, isn't it? You're completely surrounded. Put your hands in the air. The secret like you just don't care. The Fountain didn't seem the least bit scared and chuckled softly. Put my hands in the air, like this. He raised his hands and sent out a swarm of energy pulses in all directions, hitting all the fires, and giving it a chance to run off with the paralyzed Shirley. After him! Sounded lightning, and a Master Chief began. You know, how's he able to do this so easily? You guys have super speed! You guys are supposed to be this ultra-fast group. Why is this so hard? With so many officers scattered about, the Phantom found it very difficult to get away. Every he went, more officers popped up or dropped down from the sky. A couple even burst through the manhole covers of the streets. This is getting annoying me. I agree, the Phantom growled. He had no choice but to quickly absorb what power he could from Shirley. A cutie mark glowed brightly from under her skirt. Yeah, baby! I'm sorry. I have no further use for you now, snarled the Phantom, and he threw her hard, sending her crashing headfirst into a wall. Daniel and Mike saw it and ran over to help her, sending the other officers to chase the Phantom. Chilele, come on, chica. Negro, said Dino. No Dios, she is not crude. We better get you to the hospital. Shirley was soon resting in the hospital. My God, that was fast! Medical tech over for Starfleet must be dang quick, and Dr. Penny, does you have some other patients to look after? Let Nurse Redheart do it. I trust her more than I trust you. Dr. Penny confirmed that he had a concussion. It wouldn't be waking up too soon. If I was rammed headfirst into a wall, I think I would be suffering more than just a mild concussion. Right now, she simply needs to rest, said Penny. I don't know when she'll wake up, though. She was hit pretty hard. That could be possible brain damage! Are you sure you're a doctor? The twins felt horrible for Shirley. Then Lightning, Starla, and Krista came. Lightning, Starla, I knew those two were showing at the hip that they were all one person. Came in, all of them looking grim and frustrated. He got away again, Lightning hated to say. You know, that's not about it, but you guys couldn't invent a tracer to throw out? The twins felt even worse and apologized, feeling they should have stuck with the chase. No, boys, you did the right thing for Shirley, for once. Lightning agreed, but he still felt frustrated. Several other ponies also got their key marks and magic stolen. How's this guy doing all this? By simply being better than you guys. Interesting. Yeah, growled Krista. I promise you, if I ever get my hands on him, well, Take it easy, Krista. Yeah, Krista, don't get angry. Remember, that is an emotion, and as we all know on this show, emotions are illegal. You shouldn't actually show emotions, or caring, or compassion, or actually showing your race due to the fact that a monster has been stealing cutie marks. And apparently the Ryer doesn't believe cutie marks are your soul. He just believes that they're glorified tattoos that you can't shave off. They're bonded to you forever. And represent something about you. And talk about your inner abilities. And who you really are. If that doesn't describe what a soul is, I don't know what does. Although, to be fair, the writer never really explained what he believes a soul is. He just said, cutie marks are not souls, and just walked off. The commentary, you should really listen to the writer's commentary on these episodes. They are hilarious! Things are already bad enough, and keep in mind, this is a hospital. Try to keep quiet. That's probably the only smart thing you've ever said. Sorry, said Krista. Just wish we knew where this guy was operating from. Down the street. We'll do, and we'll find him, said Dino. His brother agreed. See, we will, even if we search the entire planet in science, right, Lightning? Lightning nodded. But in the meantime, while the search for the Phantom was mandatory, the school board would have to find someone to take Cheerlee's place as a substitute at the school. The Lightning was a licensed teacher. How? Oh, that's right. Apparently it comes from his duties at Starfleet. So, apparently he has that addition. How does he find time to have a life? And don't try to use an author episode as an excuse. It's a lot harder than that. He would be too busy with his duties and was needed to help search out from time to time. I'm also a member of the school council, said Penny. I'll talk to them and have them send someone down at once. Thanks, Penny, said Lightning. Then he and the others let off to go back on their night patrol, in case the Phantom struck again. Man, this space is too big. Meanwhile, Canes and Shining Armor were almost ready to call it a night. They were making sure all their guards were posted around the new Crystal Empire, in case the Phantom was decided to strike next. Canes was really tired. She had been sleeping well due to being plagued by that nightmare. It kept repeating itself over and over again every time she fell asleep. Why isn't Luna doing anything to help? These nightmares are her restrictions. She should be stepping in to help and to talk and be smart and help out. And why is Luna being ignored? She drifted off into a soft sleep while on her throne, and had the nightmare again, where she was scolded by those voices calling her bad luck, showing all the disasters she had suffered. She woke up in a startle and found she was all by herself. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. She's getting really nervous. Her husband came in and looked pretty beat. Well, he said, stretching out. Time to hit the hay. You coming? His wife sat there, not even blinking her eyes. Can't? No response! Unnecessary expletive! He tapped her and she shrieked softly, making him jump back. Whoa, are you okay? Candace tried to get a hold of herself. Get myself a hold of herself! Insisting she was okay. Yet as they walked off the bee together, if you know what I mean, one of the many suits of armor toppled over and fell on Shining Armor, just missing Cadence. Are you okay? She asked. Her husband was fine, but was very annoyed. I thought he asked the carpenters to reinforce these pedestals. Seems like more and more accidents are happening around here. Cadence began to have a sick feeling in her stomach. All that week, ever since she first started having the nightmares, strange, unfortunate accidents had been happening around the palace. And everywhere she went, Diana wants her to go. The first morning she woke up, she and Shining had just climbed out of the bed, only for the ceiling to collapse right under her bed, just missing them. Surely these beings from the future have only brought good and kindness to the world! They didn't visit the magic partner in town to participate in a school charity. They didn't have anything else to be doing. They didn't have any other, chores to be doing. They didn't have, taxes to work on. No. You spend time doing your school charity. And spend time with little children. While Candace was paying class with some kids, a big hole suddenly appeared in the ground without explanation, and one of the kids got hurt. Just a small bruise, but that was when Candace started to feel worried. What does he do? Break several mirrors, walk under a couple of ladders, and then get passed by at least 13 cats? The bad luck only worsened as she and her husband tried to have a romantic terrace one night, and their food suddenly burst into flames, and the cork on their champagne bottle suddenly popped off, hitting Shining Armor in the head. That is not an accident. That is Final Destination levels of what the frack? He still had a small bruise where it hit him. Candace was starting to think these were no mere coincidences, and neither to Shining Armor. I think someone's pulling these sick jokes on us. Sick jokes that almost got people ready to kill. He had thought that was possible, but he wasn't really sure. There was no proof as of yet, and no one had been snooping around the palace. Your bad luck, princess. You will bring harm to your loved ones. I'm sorry, but your favorite band is dead. The haunting voices were beginning to plague her, even while she was awake, making her think it wasn't ordinary magic, but a curse. She was starting to feel like maybe she... No, she couldn't believe it. She wouldn't believe it. She shan't believe it. Cadence? She jumped again, making him jump too. Cadence was wrong. Wrong? Nothing's wrong. Wow, so that's why the exclamation point decided to leave us. Her husband wasn't sure. He noted her behavior patterns over the past few days. At first he thought she was just exhausted from all this extra work and duties, what with Dark King and Phantom out there. But now, he wasn't so sure. Do cock-a-doodle-doo. The next morning came. The Crusaders were on their way to school. It felt like all their schoolmates were well aware of what happened to Cheerily, and many of them were upset, but none as much as the girls were. Half-lamb creep, growled Applebloom. If I ever find out who he is under that mask. Easy, Dee, Applebloom, said Dee. What chance could we have against that guy? We'd probably end up like Miss Cheerily. but you guys have no cutie marks, so you're not really in trouble. The others agreed and thought of maybe giving their substitute teacher a chance, whoever that would be. They were about to find out when the automatic bell rang, and the students all went into the classroom. Your one-room classroom, what, did Ponyville School suddenly get larger in the time Starfleet showed up? I mean, there's the elementary school that covers grades pre-K on through 6. There's the middle school, and Ponyville High School is not invented. No. When our kids all hit high school, they all go to vocational schools or training colleges to become who they want. Then they go all over the way to Camelot. God, I miss my little brother. The girls were last in line, but Sweetie forgot her knapsack. She rushed back to get it, and was in such a hurry to rush back, she bumped into a tall stallion. It looked like a bit like the Erie Games Inspector. United Equestria? Then why not just say Games Inspector? Miss Harswinny, orange in color with a blonde mane, but he seemed rather serious and stern-looking. "I'm sorry," Slee said innocently. The stallion stared down at her with a strange look, either not forgiving or forgiving her. Wait, how did she forget her knapsack so easily? Soon, all the students were inside, chattering as the stallion came to Skull. "Silence!" he sounded sternly. The students made a sound after that and just kept their eyes on him as he approached and gazed at everyone rather calmly. "The good. That's much better. I am Harry Harswinny. Mr. Harswinny to you. It is written on the board, and yes, for those wondering, I am related to the United Equestrian Games Inspector. She is my elder sister, but that is not the point. In the absence of Miss Chillerly, I will be running the class. You are to obey me at all times. Understood?" All the students nodded. Some were nervous and had a sick feeling in their tummies. What age was this supposed to be written again? 8 to 12? And they're using something like tummies? Are you sure this is supposed to be an 8 to 12 audience? Okay, just needed to make sure. "Very good. I like that," said Mr. Hartsworthy. He came in mid-business and was tight-fisted to the hand like a grindstone. He intended to whip the class into better shape and a model of discipline. He immediately laid down some rules that he expected the students to follow without questioning. He almost threatened. Almost nothing? That is a threat! His rules were very harsh and strict. Oh, how bad could it be? Students would speak only when spoken to. What? No one was to leave their seat without permission. I got a few problems with this. No whispering to another, or passing of notes. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that. Tests and assignments handed in with a single erase mark would be instantly failed. What? Slopping spelling and punctuations would get failing grades. Cheating would not be tolerated. Alright, I understand. And we shall have no lunch or recess for the entire week. How did he become a substitute teacher? No. How did he become even a teacher? No. How did he even get past the licensing board? No. How did he even graduate education college with an attitude and rules like that? Okay, let's break down why these rules would never fly in a school system. Number 1, students would not speak, would only be spoken to. Alright, how is anybody supposed to ask questions? How are the students supposed to get verification on what their education is? Some of them might miss something, or some of them might need clarification. Hell, some of them learn at a different rate. What are you going to do about them? 2, no one was to leave their seat without permission. Alright, but what if somebody has to go to the bathroom real bad and has to run out the door? Diarrhea and vomiting like that don't always give you time to ask for permission. Sometimes you need to haul ass out there. Tests and assignments handed in with a single erase mark would be instantly failed. What school system would create a rule like that? Ryder, what school would you go to that would create one? No, no, no. What school would allow this rule? Wouldn't somebody actually look into his history and look into his psychological profile to see that? Because nobody would agree to this rule. Without an erase mark, how are you supposed to fix mistakes? What, you're expecting them to be perfect all the time? Sloppy spelling, punctuation would also get failing grades. Why not just mark them wrong? It does give you the best out of all options. People make mistakes. Sloppy spelling and punctuation happen. Sure, we sometimes prefer to have betas, but you actually have to focus. And of course, the last one gets me. No lunch or recess for the entire week. Okay, what about those children who are diabetic? Can't you explain how you're going to do anything for them? Are you going to explain how you're going to do for any of the children that have eating disorders or eating problems? What about the children who, only have lunch in the school? What are you going to do about them? No lunch for an entire week? No teacher acts like this! Where did you come up with this? And if this is actually some actual substitute teacher you've actually encountered, then I feel so sorry for you, Ryder. The students were horrified and would have protested, but seeing his stern eyes and the way he gazed at them, all tapping his foot, expecting to stay silently, worked wonders. No, it's not going to work wonders. Let's call the school board. Yeah, then. I think I've made myself quite clear. Now, let's see how well you understand. For your first lesson today, you will now write down the rules I have given you. He paused a second. No! He suddenly sounded and pounded his desk. The students quickly got down to writing as they were told. Remember, folks, 8 to 12. This is supposed to be an 8 to 12 audience. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon didn't whisper to one another, but both had the same idea to get back at the Crusaders for the other day. Diamond scribbled something on a small sheet of paper, and while Harseway looking, softly made a slide over to near Applebloom's desk. It was only then, after hearing the sound of paper slide, did he turn and notice it. Mr. Applebloom, what is that? What's that, Mr. Harseway? Down beneath your seat there. He crossed up and picked up the folded paper, unfolding to reveal a sloppy picture of him, looking angrily, and below it was a slogan that said, We've had better teachers than Miss Huswainer, by Applebloom. Okay, even though this doesn't look like it's in your handwriting, and doesn't look like it's actually a part of what you usually do, I'm going to totally believe it. Is this your idea of a joke, young filly? Yes, softly yet sternly. Applebloom tried to protest, but he wouldn't hear it. Hold out your hand. My hand? Yes, your hand. Applebloom nervously stretched out her hand, and Harseway gently took it, only to swat the palm twice with his ruler. You do know capital punishment has been outlawed in Ponyville since Ponyville's founding, right? Many of the other students gasped softly in shock. Keep your eyes on your own papers, shouted Harseway. The students hastily got back to their writing. As for you, he said to Applebloom, since writing slogans seems to be your thing, perhaps I give you 100 things you could write after school. Applebloom gulped hard. At the end of the day, she was put to work writing, I will not write dirty slogans about my teacher. That wasn't even dirty. Maybe there were a few swear words. 100 times on blackboards. All while the other students packed up and were ready to leave. See you tomorrow, Applebloom. Diamond Tiara mocked. That wasn't even a good mock! That wasn't even a good riff! Silver Spoon left while laughing. The other Crusaders felt awful and wanted to talk to Applebloom, but Harseway wouldn't let them. Lassie isn't intention. She is forbidden from speaking or interacting. Go home now! In a well-written show, this would be the part where an enemy mine would come in and Applebloom and the rest of the crew of Crusaders would team up with Applebloom to get this guy out. And this would also help show off Diamond Tiara's three-dimensional personality, because lest we forget, she has one. And any well-written character should always have one. But since this is not a well-written show, we're not going to have an enemy mine situation. We're instead just going to have one-dimensional characterization. You know, I saw a Doug episode with featured an evil substitute teacher, and Doug and his sister, who he didn't always team up to get along with, managed to get that guy together with his evil principal. It really showed off the relationship, it showed off the characterization, and God, I wish I was watching Doug right now. As a matter of fact, I'd rather be watching that than this episode. Do 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 do. Okay, I'm done. It was very late when she finally got home. And he just swat you? Asked Applejack. How could he do that to you? No. Let me show you what Applejack would really do. Like he just swat you? Said Applejack, her teeth grinding. After standing up, she looked back at Applebloom and said, Don't worry, he's not going to do that ever again. The next day, Mr. Hartswinny was found implanted in a tree, his hands broken. And since Applejack was a member of Starfleet, she couldn't be arrested. She just smirked. You won't give me a chance to explain, Applebloom. Now I'm going to do all this homework, too. I really don't like him, said Dee Dee. Well, it sounds like to me maybe you girls got off on the wrong foot with Mr. Hartswinny, said Buddy Rose. You're an idiot! Yup, agreed Big Mac. And you're an even bigger idiot. I'm sure he didn't mean to swat you. Damn's against the rules these days. Anywho, he's still brand new. Maybe I'll just work hard. You'll see you're smarties. You really think so? Said Applebloom. Heck no! Big Mac's just talking house rear! We know so, said Applejack. But listen, anything else goes wrong, you talk about us, you hear? The girls agreed and continued on with their homework. Meanwhile, back at the motel, Mr. Hartswing was out to dinner with Diamond Tiara and her father, Filthy Ritz, at Diamond's request. Once her father was allowed a chance to meet into a new teacher. I want to thank you again for allowing me supper with you, Hartswing said. Let me guess, he's eating steak. Raw! And all that's happened today, I lost track of time. And it's the whole cow. Well, I'm glad to have met you, Mr. Hartswinny, said Filthy Ritz. I'm especially glad you're my teacher now, said Diamond. Can't say the same for those troublemakers, bikini rockers. Really, Diamond, there's no way to talk at the table, sneered her father. Filthy Ritz is the nicest guy you can meet. He doesn't put it up with Diamond's little misbehaving and doesn't really put up with a dang thing she does. I should know. I've met him at Barnyard Bargains. He's a brilliant rad dude. I've actually helped him write his own biography. Paid me 500 bits for that job. Now, wait a minute, sir, said Hartswing. Troublemakers, you say? Diamond nodded, made up a whole network of lies saying how the Crusaders were rotten girls, or always were causing her trouble and grief when she wanted them to do or try her best to be a good student. It's true, Lily used to complain about all the headaches she used to get when dealing with them, she lied. Wouldn't he have, papers showing that this is a lie? Let's see. Filthy Ritz was not certain Diamond was being sincere. Then he didn't say anything? The next day, most of the students had arrived at school, keeping out of trouble, and silent as mice as Mr. Hartswinny watched them over as he got them down to their math problems, keeping his eyes on the Crusaders. Snips came in very late. Thank you, narrator. That was very necessary. Snips! Snapped Hartswinny. You missed your spelling test. Oh, thank God it wasn't snails. If he did that to snails, he would not survive. I'm sorry, but I couldn't help it, Snips said innocently, but Hartswinny was unmoved, and ordered him to the front where he swatted his hand twice. That'll teach you to be late, he growled, but Snips acted as if he hadn't felt anything. I was only late because I had to stop at the doctor's so I could get my new inhaler for my asthma. Nips has asthma? Since when? The kid's chubby, yeah, but I don't think he has breathing problems. He showed him the note from his parents and his doctor to prove me? Why should we prove you? Still unmoved, Horsewing glared deeply at the note, and then at the young colt. Take your seat, he sneered softly. Sleepybell felt sorry for Snips, and gazed at him as he crossed over her desk. Sleepybell, he growled harshly, since your eyes seem to be averted, perhaps I have other things for you to gaze at. He slammed the dictionary down on her desk and told her to copy the entire A section. Whatever work you missed in class today, you have for your homework. Okay, now these punishments and these anger bits are getting ridiculous. They started off as realistic. Now they're moving on to, have you ever actually been in school before? Sleepybell resisted any urges to argue. But Dee Dee and Skulu were starting to lose their patience with him. It was gawking at him. Is something troubling you, ladies? No, sir, nothing, said Skulu. Dee Dee shook her head. Skulu would be far more angrier than this. Harsley looked madder than louder. You'll find I have a very low tolerance for liars, he sneered. Both of you will stay after school. Are there any objections? Not a single student in his class responded, or even looked up from their papers, not wanting to get into more trouble. But Diamond and Silver Spoon were getting a kick down seeing the Crusaders getting picked on. They both had been secretly planning for one final stunt that was sure to push Hartswing overboard, but had to wait until the next day so they could work without being seen. You know, the writer says that they want to dedicate 80% of this story to the fight scenes. I'm just saying the 80% in this. Actually, I've got one huge problem with this chapter, with this episode, and you're going to find out what as soon as I finish the review. After school, it was a grueling time for Skulu and DT, and they were going home. Buddy, Rose, and Applejack were still baffled like this, and were thinking of talking to Hartswinny. Even Rarity agreed when she and Spike saw them on the pre-dawn patrol the next day. You know, I shouldn't really be patrolling like this. I should really be focusing on my dresses. I mean, I do have a full-time job, even though I can't use my magic, and doing dresses and making them really takes a lot of work and care and consideration, especially when you consider what type of client you have, what type of dress to make, and how to examine it. You can't really do this in an hour. Oh, sure, you can say you can, but that's more hyperbole for, say, somebody who wants to just really make a cheap dress. Personally, I'd rather put in time and effort to my making, especially when I have my magic. Spike rode on Rarity's back as he flew across the skies. My parents told me that Sweetie Belle was still doing homework when it was way past her bedtime, she told the others. When she said why, she said Mr. Hartswinny. Again with Hartswinny, snapped Applejack. Something ain't right here. She makes me feel glad I don't go to that school. What school do you go to, Spike? Maybe we should try something right now. We can't, Spike, said Buddy Rose. What? Your daughter is getting punished. She might be getting badly hurt for all you know. Who knows what that sick son of a bitch is going to do? I don't care about Starfleet code or Starfleet regulations or any of that. That is your daughter. Now you get off your ass and you go down there and you help, you freaking sack of potatoes. Sorry, this type of thing just ticked me off. We don't deal with minor domestic situations unless it really calls for it. Abuse? Hello? We don't have any factual proof anyway to interrogate Mr. Hartswinny. Just saying, judging from what the girls say is enough. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the law. Buddy rose and looked down, squeezing his hand so hard that blood began to drip. It's the law. Yeah, my daughter may die from all the abuse she's going to be given, and she may end up looking like a criminal, and who knows what that monster could do to her. He continued to squeeze his hands, shaking in pure rage as he held back every single ounce of words that he wanted to say. Instead, he just continued to repeat, "It's the law. We can't deal with minor disturbances. Granted, I think we should in this case and fuck the law up right the ass, but I gotta follow it, even though it's a detestable and more stupid law. I gotta do it, even though she could be in trouble." Applejack patted her hand on Buddy Rose's shoulder and gave him a hug and said, "It's all right. Calm down." Buddy Rose shook his head with a scoff. "I'm fine. We're just following orders." He paused and looked down at his cup of coffee as it swirled. "Right. Besides, we're strict duty," added Applejack. "We're supposed to be on the lookout for Dark King and his goons. Not to mention that crazy fam slinking about." "That's not more important than this." Spike understood. They were all feeling really uneasy about the girls at school. He hoped things wouldn't get worse for them. But things were about to get really, really bad. "Psst! Mr. Rarier, I keep telling you, don't get excited." Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon had snuck to school early that day. They saw Mr. Hartswing put down his briefcase to unlock the school doors. Keeping well out of sight, the girls chewed some gooey gum and then stuck little wads of it inside the briefcase. Silver Spoon even painted a few swatches of nail polish on the sides of the case at all well. "Since when did those two girls wear nail polish? This doesn't make sense for their characters." Hartswing remained completely unaware of Printo's briefcase, not seeing to deface side, and set it down on his desk. Deface side down. The naughty feeling snickered wickedly. Soon all the students arrived, including the Crusaders. "Golly, you look real beat, Sweetbale," said Applebloom. Sweet gave a huge yawn. "Working late. You wouldn't believe how much homework I had." Yeah, we do. We saw you yesterday," said Scootaloo. Dee Dee really felt it hard to hold her face steady. All she could think about was Hartswing, the way he was treating them like troublemakers. "Telling you, somebody ought to use that ruler to give him a good swatting," she grumbled. The others urged her to calm down, not wanting to get into any more trouble. "School board, report, now!" They did wish their elder relatives would help them, but they also knew they were far too busy for patrols, and knew the codes just as much. "That is a horrifying thing to remind me. That is simply deplorable. Thank you." Plus, Mr. Hartswing was very harsh, but he hadn't done anything extremely bad yet. Other than, hold back lunches, make it impossible for you to make a mistake, swat you, use corporal punishment. Oh, no, everything's just fine. "I still miss Charlie," said Sweetie Belle, and the others agreed, and all decided to go visit her in the hospital after school, even though she was still unconscious. The girls were so lost in their chatting, they didn't see Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon sneakily slip some things in their knapsacks. The girls didn't see Phil and all. And I Phase can hardly wait for class to start. Stop getting so excited, narrator. I'm trying to focus on this crappy episode. Soon the students gathered in the classroom, set their knapsacks down. Mr. Hartswing sat in the door. "What? Were they just waiting outside school or something?" "Students, papers and pencils are ready," he told them. Reached out to pick up his briefcase off his desk. All you find is stuck with wads of gum and defaced with nail polish. Some students couldn't help but laugh. It was just too funny to see. Hartswing looked ready to crush his briefcase with his bare hands. "You think defacing my property is funny? I don't!" he shouted, silencing the laughing. It suddenly caught his attention. He could see way back the knapsacks of the room, preferably the Crusaders' packs. "Damn, he's got good eyesight!" Crossed over and found packs of the same gum, balls of the same nails polish that were splattered on his briefcase, inside the Crusaders' packs. "Yes, because I can tell a brand of gum just by his wad." The girls were speechless and didn't understand it. Hartswing turned to glare angrily at them. "Ladies, you are expelled. Go home!" The girls tried to protest, but they did nothing. The Hartswing ordered them angrily. "Halt! No!" Damien and Silver snickered softly, believing they had finally won. But Dee Dee clenched her fists furiously, having taken enough of all this abuse. "Hey! You broke the rule of 3. Shouldn't Scootaloo be suffering something? You just left her out. You left out Scootaloo. Hello?" We're not going anywhere. Now all the other students had lucky socks on their faces. Harsway was quivering softly in anger. You troublemakers have caused me enough grief, he grumbled as softly approached her. Dee Dee stood her ground. Get out of my school. Harsway growled. Oh, wait, I get it. It's because Dee Dee is, a relative of Starfleet. That's why she's allowed to do something instead of Scootaloo, who would actually have gotten involved in this prank with Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. Maybe it's you who should leave. All the others gasped in horror. Silence! I'll take an order I can from you, young filly. I give you and your trouble-making friends this last chance. Dilly, stop! Cried Applebloom. Don't push him anymore! Said Scootaloo, but Dee Dee refused to move and continued to glare Harsway down as if there were two cowboys waiting to draw. Harsway, taking enough of this, stopped towards the broom closet and returned wielding a broom in a threatening way. You have 10 seconds to get out of my sight, or so help me, I... You know what would have made this a little more effective? Is if he actually hit her with the broom and snapped it against her skull, causing her to bleed. That would have been far more effective. And again, would have been in this age range because, guess what? DBZ is in the same age range and has a scene where blood trickles down Gohan's head. Wait a minute! Snapped a voice by the door, and there stood Dee Dee's cousin, Buddy Rose. He didn't seem a bit pleased. Harsway felt his stomach turn. Major Buddy Rose, he said calmly. What brings you here? Wait a minute. Applebloom and Snails get their palms busted, but Dee Dee doesn't get a thing? Come on! Bruise her a little. Knock her upside the head. Buddy Rose just glared at the teacher and said calmly, I was passing on by my rounds, and I heard you shouting. It's a good thing I came when I did. Harsway tried to cover for his actions, insisting, I'm having a small problem at the moment. But Buddy didn't believe him one bit, and it hurt enough. Children, I want you all to go home right now. That's a Starfleet order. You know what would make this scene so much better is if Applejack was there with him and they both kicked his ass. Under Starfleet laws, the children had to obey. Harsway could do nothing. After all the children left, Harsway spoke fiercely to Buddy. Major, this is completely intolerable. I am going to report to the authorities about your insolence here. He is the authorities! He is higher up! Starfleet apparently higher up than the police force! He is part of the police! You're basically telling a cop that a cop's gonna report to a cop! I'm sure you'll have to hear it. Now, you obviously abused your authority, not to mention your students. When I see a problem child, I will dispose of him however I choose. Mr. Harsway, I think it's you, the teacher, who's the problem here, not the child! How dare you! Shouted Harsway as he tried to grab him. So not only are you an asswipe, but you're an idiot? I don't know whether to despise you or just feel sorry. I could arrest you right here and now for attempting an assault on the officer, but I'll see you after school with the board of counselors. We'll see what they think. You let him go gently, before leaving the abusive teacher alone in the empty classroom. Exactly after hours, the school was loaded with members of the school board. Applejack, Rarity, Spike, and Buddy Rose were all there too as witnesses, along with Dr. Penny, who was on the council, as we previously mentioned. Mr. Harsway explained his case. I can make children into model students, but only if I am to ensure their total attention. Sometimes I must use harsh discipline. Mr. Harsway, said Terry Pony. Major Buddy Rose insists that he caught you threatening his young cousin with a broomstick, which we find apologizing and extremely unorthodox. Shouldn't you take his word over them? I mean, he is the officer. That's why he explains again. She explains the letter that. It's him spelling at girls and their refusal to obey him. Applejack, Rarity, and Spike only learned of this, and were appalled to hear it. Objection! Said Spike. Second that! You don't second an objection! The chairman banged his gavel, telling them to keep quiet and not to raise their voices. You've never been in a legal proceeding, have you? And no, watching 12 Angry Ponies does not count. I like to say something about my... Very well, Captain. I was there for saying a folder containing old test papers, assignments, the other sisters and the girls worked on together. It was Alma Bloom kept as memorials. Wow, I'm not really that much of a school Mary. You get my drift? All the tests are good scrolls. My smiling stickers are gold stars. So he approached Mr. Harsaway, asking him, "Why did you expel the girls?" Harsaway sighed. "As I clearly stated before, Captain Applejack, the girls were nothing more but trouble since the day I came here. They were disobedient, lacking attention, and were caught defacing my property." He referred to his briefcase. "I would like to object to this," said Buddy Rose. Harsaway was starting to lose his patience. "All these objections. I am not on trial here." Yeah, you are. There's the school board. You're on trial. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are on trial here. Right there, you're on trial. "Sit down, Mr. Halswinner," snapped the chairman. "No one is on trial here." He so totally is. "We are merely questioning you all." Harsaway complied and took a seat calmly. "Go ahead, Major Buddy Rose." Oh, speaking of military ranks, on a completely different note, I did look up how much a captain makes in a month. Apparently, they're given $3,771 for their service. That is not enough to maintain things like a farm, Rainbow Dash's mansion, or Rarity's Carousel Boutique, and still have enough for food and other expenses. Buddy Rose held up a small folder containing reports from Cheerilee. As Dee Dee's legal guardian and caregiver, basically her father, he was given reports from Cheerilee. He read from each of them that he was quoted. "Daphne Dill is an extraordinary student, along with the other girls. Though they have their faults and unintentionally have caused and gotten into trouble, they have learned from their mistakes and continue to astound me with their etiquette and hard work. I even dare say of all my students that I deem them favorable." And that is favoritism. Congratulations, you probably got Cheerilee in trouble. This report also helped him vouch for the girls defacing the briefcase. Seeing as all four of them knew better than to chew gum at school, you have a visor. Why not just check the DNA on that? It's amazing you're supposed to have super speed and these special technologies that allow you to, insult us ponies, but when it comes time to use them in everyday life, you don't use them! And neither of them wore nail polish before. Even their fingernails were clear in class, as Harsaway failed to notice, or care about for that matter. Still, he didn't seem very interested. "Must we listen to this? I'm only concerned with the girls' actions and behavior since I've been their teacher." "You are an idiot!" It's starting to sound desperate, but finally, Rarity spoke up. "Oh, not another one. This has gone far enough!" Harsaway groaned, but the chairman allowed Rarity to speak as if it was all right. "I would like to call out the council," Rarity said. "Dr. Penny, when discussing matters to hire a teacher, what made you choose Mr. Harsaway?" Penny stood up in answer. "We've seen his resume." She held up, revealing it to be very long. "We've seen you taught at many, many schools, and I suppose we did take it at face value. If he really did got fire and taken out of those schools, I think he would have had an investigation long before now. The school board is very strict about this type of thing." Starry sweat, dabbing his head with a hanky. Rarity approached him and had another question to ask. "Why did I ask you, sir? Why is your resume so incredibly long?" By this time, Harsling began to stammer as he spoke. I had many offers, one after another. I'm a busy pony. I see. Then might I inquire why you last left your last position? I was, satisfied with the job I had done, and as I said, I had many demands. One final question. Honestly, how long do you intend to bother your bossing me like this? I am doing no such thing, said Rarity. I am merely request to inquire one final thing. Why is every date from each of your primates closer to each other by a matter of days? Surely you couldn't have possibly done that much of a job so quickly. Why is he a teacher anyway in the first place? Does his cutie mark say that he's a good teacher? Does he enjoy it? Ashley bolted straight at Starlight face. Are you saying I'm a liar? I have made false statements? She didn't say that at all. All she said was it's kind of odd that you are doing a good job so dang quick. Mr. Horswinner, snapped the chairman. Before he could say more, there was a knock on the door. Everyone could see from the window it was none other than Miss Hartsway. No! Pet Mr. Hartsway as his sister came into the room. Do forgive my intrusion, she said. When that's what she was doing here, Spike stood up and said how he wrote a letter to her earlier that day. Miss Hartsway nodded. Normally, it's unethical of me to just abandon my duties as game inspector, but when I heard my brother was involved, I came straight here. By this time, all Mr. Hartsway could do was snarl and steam. How dare you? How dare all of you? I came here to teach your children, to make them big feather ponies. Now you tell me what I do isn't good enough, so you bring me and my sister here to talk me further down to size? Mr. Horswinning, please understand. I already understand. All these supervisions, all these interrogations, I can make your children better, but only if I am given the 300 to teach them as I see fit. There must be order. There must be routine, rules. I must have order. I must have control. Finally, he had blown himself out. He was thinking and muscle stress, and softly sank down to a seat, resting his head and face down on a desk. Everyone gazed sorrowfully at him, with hints of pity in their eyes. I don't have pity. I just feel kind of angry. Miss Hartsway approached her shaken brother, placed her hand on his back, stroking him. I can't begin to apologize for his trouble, she said to everyone else. You'll have to excuse my brother. You're no doubt aware he is not well. No one said anything, but kept his eyes on the stinking pony so pitifully. Mr. Hartsway got up slowly, taking his acceptable place. He walked slowly to the door, picked up his briefcase, took one last look to the crowd, and said, I will turn in my resignation in the morning. He was gone, and Miss Hartsway followed him out and promised to help her brother get the help he needed for his power hunger. Yeah, that's not really going to help out much. That night, the girls visited Terry in the hospital, and Happy Sea was awake, even brought her flowers. Oh, girls, how lovely, she said. We're glad you're better, Miss Shirley, said Sweetie Belle. We're really sorry you got attacked. Oh, it's not your fault, girls, Shirley said as she peeked under the bedsheets at her blank flank. Hey now! She didn't like no longer having a key mark. Knew she had to be brave to get better. Even though she was awake now, the doctor said she needed plenty of rest before they go back to school. Girls felt sad she couldn't come back. A little sorry for Mr. Hartswinny. Why? Why are we feeling sorry for him? What's his backstory? Just because he's screaming out in rage and saying there must be power and rules and crying does not make him a sympathetic character. I mean, what's his backstory? Is there a reason for him being so domineering? Is there a reason for him to be so power hungry? We can't feel sorry for the guy if we don't know why we should feel sorry for him. You're just saying they feel sorry for him and you're expecting us, the audience, to feel sorry too. But we don't know why we're feeling sorry. Baffled by the cancer, Lang sets upon teens and bully her students, but felt sorry for him in his condition. Why? But who's going to be our teacher now? Asked Apple Bloom. They all wonder that. It's lightning. Nevertheless, the next day, the girls were out to school again, wondering who their new teacher would be. Diamond and Silver were disappointed Mr. Hartsway left, but even more upset they didn't get the Crusaders expelled. Still, when they all entered the school, the bell rang. They were surprised. Good morning, children, said Lightning. Commander Lightning Dawn? Cried Scootaloo. Lightning smiled out. Before anyone can ask, he explained how he managed to find just a little time within his extremely busy schedule to teach children. So he patrols, does paperwork, has to train the new recruits, teach them laws, and now he's a teacher? How does he find time to love his wife? Over the past few days, and as he was a licensed teacher, trust me, I can handle this, he assured him. Now everyone take your seats, please. It will get started with your math. Having added Lightning as their substitute before, the children knew they could trust him. Still, Diamond and Silver were outraged. While Lightning was writing down math problems on one of the side boards, with his back facing the students, Silver Spoon crumpled up the paper ball and threw it right at Dee Dee's head. Ow! Hey! He saw it this time. Silver! snapped Sweet Belle. Quiet, please, Lightning said calmly. But, Commander, Silver Spoon just threw a paper at Dee Lee, added Bloom. No, I didn't. She really didn't. Yes, you did, Starfleet. Ahem, Lightning said. Go stand in the corner, Silver Spoon. Me? I didn't do anything. Lightning turned to glare deeply, but spoke softly. Silver Spoon, don't make things worse by lying to me. I know you did. He pointed at the floor and the shadows of the students, created by the sun shining through the... Okay, there's seeing well, and then there's Superman. This is just divinity. I saw the corner of my eye, and saw you throw that ball of paper at Dee Dee's head. That could have been any shadow. But No but, Silver. Now, are you going to stand in the corner, or do you want a week of detention to go with it? You know, this feels more like it's favoritism. Resisting any urge to argue, Silver Spoon got up and went to stand in the corner. She felt really humiliated, and Diamond felt outraged. But the Crusaders felt relieved that things were back to normal. Hooray! The innocent 12-year-olds are getting abused! In our next episode, the friends are made aware of Kansas' condition is steadily worsening, while they're studying as much as they can about their adversaries for the future. Meanwhile, Dark King sends Ogre to the back slack David had left behind. Can the team stand up to Ego and Ogre and his tricks? And how much worse is Kansas' condition becoming? Don't miss the exciting episode of Starfleet is Magic. Learn to burn! I got one thing to say about this episode. And that is, this is probably one of the worst cock-a-picking episodes I have ever seen on this whole entire series. And I'm just only on number 1, on number 5. In the creator's commentary, they try to say that they want to focus on 80% of the fights, and that they want to focus more on the battles. Well, this doesn't have any of the battles. This doesn't have any of the fights. This is just something random. You could have put it in any scenario. You could have done anything for this episode, and it would have made no difference. It didn't further the plot. It didn't further the characters. It did nothing, sir. It didn't even further anything except for that one scene with Kane's in shining armor. But you could have put that in any part of the previous episodes, and you would have lost nothing. The characterizations? What characterizations? The bad guy, Mr. Hearst winning? What? There was no point to this character because there was no backstory, no reason for why he was so miffed. There was no reason for him to be so angry all the time. He was just there to be, ooh, I'm angry, grrr. He literally was just there, just to be there. His punishments and his rules were taken so far, it was to the point of hilarity because they were so ridiculous and unbelievable. Nobody could ever realize, take this seriously. Buddy, I can't believe I'm saying this considering the previous episodes, felt out of character. You would think that he would be the first to stand up for somebody he cares for, like a daughter. You would think Applejack would stand up first. The only thing I like about this episode is that in spite of the fact that the writers hate Rarity with a burning passion of 1,000 suns, this was all Rarity being awesome, and again, Starfleet barely does anything in the story. Yeah, interestingly enough, Buddy doesn't do anything to help out his cousin, who he should have been a little more picked off that she was going to be swatted with a freaking broom. This episode sucks and it could go burn in hell.